60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigative journalism. Are they wrong?
But that's not investigative journalism if you change someone's answers. If you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent, but it's not that. It's editing things to make deceptive editing.
Joe,
so in deceptive editing, you give people a different perception of who this candidate is than reality.
But you got to explain.
But that's not objective journalism.
I know, but
that's campaigning for that person.
Joe Rogan just lit up Bernie Sanders on his own podcast, and it was explosive. Bernie walked in thinking he was entering friendly territory, like one of those echo chambers where no one dares push back. Big mistake. Rogan brought the heat, slicing through talking points and proving once again why his show is the gold standard for unfiltered conversation.
Elon Musk, and I know Elon was on your show, and he's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And we could talk about Elon, but he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. Okay. I think that's absurd that any one person...
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris as well.
They spent $1.5 billion just
combined
over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it. So I'm not here just to say it's a Republican. That's my point here.
Right.
Okay.
This is what happens when you marinate too long in your own bubble. Bernie used to cozy platforms that echo his anti-Trump, anti-billionaire rhetoric, clearly assumed Rogan would be more of the same. Nope. When he lobbed an attack at Elon Musk, claiming Musk gave over $200 million to Trump, Rogan dropped a reality bomb. Kamala Harris had raked in $1.5 billion in just a few months. That stat hit hard. Bernie scrambled, dodged, and sidestepped the double standard like a pro-politician caught mid-spin. Rogan's show isn't an echo chamber. It's a truth grenade launcher.
About the other the other lawsuit with the conversation that they had with Kamala Harris, where they edited the answers that she had to make it look more precise.
60 Minutes, they were suing 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Is, to my mind, historically, been around for a very long time. You know, they're not infallible, but I think you look at most objective people will say 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigative journalism. Are they wrong?
But that's not investigative journalism if you change someone's answers. If you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent.
Trying to recover, Bernie shifted to a new target, Donald Trump, slamming him for suing 60 Minutes over their shady edit of Kamala Harris's interview. Rogan wasn't having it. Not so fast, my friend. He cut in, calling out 60 Minutes for blatant deception, not just sloppy reporting. Bernie rushed to defend them, praising the outlet as a journalistic pillar. Rogan shot back, exposing how legacy media gets a free pass when it pushes leftist narratives. On Rogan's turf, that spin game doesn't work.
Then you're walking down, you're walking down a dangerous path. Suing media has the impact of intimidating media. All right, if somebody sues you, all right, they're going to finish. All right?
Okay.
Somebody sues you, why not you? You could be sued tomorrow, right? Because you are doing this. You're too sympathetic to this.
Right.
And Joe, you did that, and they have a big law firm behind you. You're going to have to spend zillions of dollars defending yourself. You know what? Next time you do an interview, you say, maybe I'm not going to go in that area. Right?
No, but it's not that. It's editing things to make deceptive editing.
Joe,
so in deceptive editing, you give people a different perception of who this candidate is than reality.
Right. But you got to explain.
But that's not objective journalism.
I know, but
that's campaigning for that person.
Right, but
would you agree with that?
Then came the emotional blackmail. Bernie warned, if you support what Trump's doing, it could happen to you too. Trying to corner Rogan with fear. Rogan calmly dismantled it. There's a huge difference between suing over fair reporting and calling out fake neutrality used to push an agenda. One attacks press freedom. The other is a justified consequence. Rogan doesn't fold under guilt trips. He's not MSNBC. Bernie came to preach. Rogan came with receipts.
I don't have those details. I don't know that I agree with your analysis of it. I don't know enough.
I think that's universally accepted that that's what they did.
Then you got to tell me why he is suing ABC. Why are you suing
Well,
Meta?
let's just talk about the 60 Minutes
No,
one
but
first.
no, but it's not just
we could go to ABC, but I'm not aware of that
well,
one either.
George Stephanopoulos said something that he didn't like. But the point is,
what did Stephanopoulos say?
I can't. It was I honestly don't remember. But
well, I think what he was saying was factually incorrect about the results of one of Trump's trials.
All right, guess what? If I were to sue everybody who said things that were factually incorrect about me, I'd be suing people zillions of times.
And this is the guy who wants to run the country? Bernie can't give a straight answer to a single tough question. He's not leading, he's performing. Consumed by Trump derangement syndrome, he trades fact for outrage and grandstanding. Trump's lawsuits over alleged deceptive editing aren't attacks on free speech. They're a stand against calculated.
My concern is when you have media organizations that are purported to be objective, and then they say things that are defamatory and factually incorrect, and they should know that before they say it. What other course does a person have other than a lawsuit? And isn't it important that you shine the light on what is a political bias?
Then
we're from an organization that you would hope would be objective.
Joe Rogan nails it again, holding Bernie Sanders' feet to the fire with no softballs, no freebies. Every vague comment, every shaky claim, Rogan calls it out and refuses to let him spin. That's real accountability, the kind journalism needs. No one's saying punish the press, but when outlets pump out lies and propaganda, there should be fallout, legal, reputational, or financial. Constant deception isn't journalism. It's manipulation, and the public deserves better.
Media is really hitting new lows, so eager to restart their debunked Russian conspiracy theories that they somehow managed to mix up this man, Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, with this dude, Vladimir Putin. Easy mistake to make if you've lost all reasoning, any semblance of objectivity. When you are an activist journalist for MSNBC, here are some of the corrections.
Last night, The Last Word reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network in which she said Trump was good friends with a world leader. Now, we said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview was subsequently released, and it showed that Gabbard was referring to Donald Trump and the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi.
Fact-based journalism is supposed to stop disasters like this before they happen. But MSNBC missed the memo. If they'd bothered to watch the full interview before running wild, they could have avoided humiliating walkbacks. Instead, they went full speed ahead, obsessed with tying Trump to Putin at any cost. Objectivity gone. Verification ignored. What we got was pure media malpractice. And this isn't just a harmless mistake. It's activism with a press badge. Until that changes, these retractions will keep coming, louder and uglier.
So Tulsi Gabbard mentions that Trump is good friends with a world leader, and they not only just assumed she's talking about Vladimir Putin, but then they report that as if it were fact on television. That's what happened. Let's hear one more correction from MSNBC on that issue.
Last night, we reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network, in which she said that Trump was good friends with a world leader. We said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview shows that Gabbard was referring to Trump, an Indian Prime Minister.
These are the outlets Bernie Sanders rushes to defend. Platforms so biased they've stopped pretending otherwise. The self-proclaimed champion of fairness suddenly has no problem when the media pushes agendas instead of facts. No call for neutrality, no outrage over dishonesty. Just silence.
Worst vice presidential candidate we have seen, the uniquely awful Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Remember him? He had all sorts of delusions of being vice president. Now he has delusions of being a presidential candidate, and he thinks he's a tough guy. Here he responds to media pundits who mocked his lack of masculinity.
This How notion do you fight it? This
I think I could kick most of their. I do think they want to do it. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
Good luck with that, Tim. I think Judge Janine has you covered.
While Bernie was cozying up to woke media on Rogan's show, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was out doing his own clown act, challenging Republican men to a physical fight. Yes, really. Apparently, he thinks masculinity is about talking tough and bragging about changing truck tires. Newsflash. Real manhood is standing for truth, owning your responsibilities, and holding the line when it's unpopular. Walz and his kind confuse macho theater with actual courage. From Bernie squirming under Rogan's questions to Walz's comedy act, the cracks in the left's narrative are showing. The public's waking up. We don't need media games or political theater. We need truth and accountability. And thanks to voices like Rogan's, it's getting harder for the pretenders to hide.